Guys, so Gia is probably one of my biggest problems, and she's the biggest problem because I didn't do enough hands-on with her. Now, every dog that I've touched, and I do mean put an emphasis on in the first 3 to 6 months, if not 9 months, I left a mark, and it was impactful to say the least. T-Fit here, Fit Bully TV people. I'm going to walk you through an insecure dog and how to build his confidence and things we'll be looking for definitely before she gets to the 2-year mark, and how we're going to manage her and her problems over the next lifetime. Now don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate you. Again, we're doing some things, and if I'm being honest, a year ago we had 88 subscribers on good old YouTube, and this is where we're going to put some of our emphasis. But let me try to get to the point with Gia. I've got a lot of messages over some time about behavioral issues, and Jamarcus said, hey, listen, Gia's at his house, he watches her. She's now caused a fight. Her and Envy can't get along. It's just not going to happen. Sometimes that happens. Now Maya is the most chill dog on earth. You can watch a dog hunt Maya's head for 3 to 4 weeks, and Maya still won't do that. And finally she'll get a little agitated and be like, hit you with that Rick Ross. Back up, brother. But she still puts up with so much. So when you start causing fights with Maya, I believe she got into it with Nala, and you keep going down the line, you go, next it'll be Tut. It'll be the dogs that he has in his home. And that makes any of us uncomfortable when these dogs start breaking into fights about nothing. You have 2 people barking at the guy cutting the line, and they get so excited they turn around and start fighting with each other. That shouldn't be the case. Shouldn't be the case. But what's funny is even today as I'm watching, we got some clips of all the dogs together, literally a gang of them jokers, and you're seeing them play. And of course, my 2 little legends, Ego and Tron, they never let go. They never rebit. Once they got on that rope, they were there. And eventually, all the dogs, except those 2, let it go. They said, look, these guys are serious about this rope. This rope ain't that serious. I think Gia would have stayed on the rope as long as she can, but even I saw her come off the other day. So then you start really putting her in adverse situations to determine what's really going on here. Where's her frustration? So humans, we miscommunicate at times, and we might be mad about something and then react to something that isn't even the problem because someone else said something we didn't like. But you should have dealt with the first person who caused you the problem. So what you do then, let's say, hey, what is the causation of this dog's frustration at times? Well, it's a toy, it's a treat, it's just a dog having pent-up animosity. 2 things. Well, one thing I wouldn't do, even if we weren't to breed Gia, you can lock a dog into you can lock them into childlike behaviors if you fixed him too early. Dr. Karen Becker does a good video on that, talking about do not fix a dog before 2. You want that endocrine system to fully develop. So she's a dog I would never recommend someone to fix until she was 2, at least. And that's when everything was functioning in her body hormonally correct, or hormonally properly. Then turn around, you say, well, what situations can we put her in to determine why she's reactive or responding? And if we have the right alpha male or female, maybe we let them correct her. So in this case, we put her in various situations. I didn't see none of the stuff. Could take a few times. So now, realistically, over the next 4 weeks, we'll bring Gia to me over here once a week, just so I can press a few buttons, see where she's at, and see how she reacts in moments of discomfort. Once I saw her give up, though, to be clear. So she gets reactive and rowdy with dogs, she can. But even when I just let her play with Tron, at some point, she let go of that rope because she was too hot and too tired. So she's not that motivated. But clearly then she's motivated by dogs and animosity. So let's see what happens when she gets rowdy, per se, with the right dog. And that could be me bringing over Mama. And her mama's not here, to be clear, but Zara. Let's see how you keep that same energy with a dog that can compete. And again, you're not setting them up to fight. But Zara doesn't like bullies. And Zara knows when to quit. But Zara, if I allowed Zara to correct Gia, I wouldn't let her stop until Zara felt she submitted. And you guys got to know how that works too. Just like in a fight, boom, 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 he's down. Let him up, leave him alone. Most guys who got their butt whooped, they're not going to get up and run back at you, right? If you break up even a good altercation too soon, what'll end up happening is, and this is if you don't have a balanced female, what'll end up happening is, they'll just keep going at it. Because no one won. And you've seen it in movies, gorilla, and they'll stand over, or a lion, or even the Tibetan Mastiff and some of them, they run up and stand, that dog do like this. Even when we did our video of the presser Rayo, what did he do? He pinned the doggo, and the doggo stopped. He like this. They were like, we've never seen him do that before. Well, guess what? He understood he was defeated. Now, he might get up testing one more time, and he did. And guess what? He had him back on his back. At some point, the dog says, I respect you. I'm going to leave you alone. Because clearly Rayo didn't want to kill him, or didn't really want to hurt him. But you're not going to bully me. See what I'm saying? But then you got to be good at understanding behavior to know how to manage that and not freak yourself out. Because it could get ugly. That's the truth. Any fight normally is going to get ugly because people shouldn't be fighting. Nobody shouldn't be fighting. We're too grown for that. Somebody fighting need a job or something. Get this man a job. This man needs some money or something. Get this man some money, man. He fighting because he upset about something else. In the dog's case, G is not an alpha. She is a defensive, reactive dog who's insecure. And she needs a lot of work. Jamarcus is definitely doing a good job of showing plenty of love, I'm sure. She's eating good food. She looks great. But her attitude, that's the hard part. And 99.9% of it, it's on me. She broke her leg. I didn't get to spend the time I needed to spend developing her, especially in that 8 to 16 week mark. And then through the next few months, she was put in a cage and had to stay in the cage because I wasn't going to pay for that leg to get worse. It already cost $4,000. Not happening, people. Not happening. So, over the next few weeks, we'll try our best to update you about what we're doing with Gia and watching her progress. But when you're looking at some of these things, we walked her through quite a few of the dogs, put her in the company of all the dogs, got to see how she fared, and I wanted to see if anything caused a reaction in a new environment. So technically, it was like her coming to a dog park because she didn't know any of my dogs like that. And she didn't act too crazy. She didn't act crazy at all, realistically. And none of my dogs act too crazy. They didn't act crazy enough with her. So, if you're having behavioral problems, I'm not a behaviorist, but I do know dogs. I'm not the guy who's going to answer a lot of your questions. Stan probably could, so follow Iron Shark Canine. If I'm being honest, I can. If I'm being honest, I'm not going to. But I'd like to make sure everyone in my company feels safe with the dogs that they have and can manage them in their home, especially if they're not there. So for now, stay tuned. Take care of your dogs. But as always, thank you for watching. If you're having behavioral problems, see a behavioralist or isolate the dog so that you can basically better control outcomes in large groups of animals. And we have a large group of dogs.